I'm in the Saints, an island group of Guadeloupe. The main town is over there. Let's go check it out. It's only a mile to get from where the boat is anchored to here, but there are separate islands, so you're really going over open ocean, so there's a lot of wind, and if your engine dies, well, you better have a helpline. The ferry is coming in right now from mainland Guadeloupe. This is the big mooring field. Everything is full, I think because of high season. Some local fisher boats, small beach, and then there are some restaurants off the ocean. Terre-de-Haut is an island visited by a lot of boaters, but the majority of tourism here comes from the ferry, and people come from Guadeloupe. Ferry costs about €29. They either come for a day trip or on a 3-day trip. Motorized vehicles are not allowed on the island, so you have to rent a scooter or a golf cart, or you can walk. One of the famous places is on the other side, Pays du Sucre. I'm going to dinghy over there, and for the majority there's one long street over here full with colorful houses, and they all have restaurants, bars and tourist shops. I have to do a revision on that only electric scooters and cars are allowed. I read that on the internet, but since then I've seen a lot of non-electric scooters and cars, like that one. I'm on anchor, but in the morning I'm very close to the rocks, but I cannot anchor further out, I cannot anchor further away because it's too deep. And I already have 250 feet out, like all my chain plus 100 foot of rope. I'm just going around the bay here to see if there's any place to maybe go here, but everything is full. There's nothing available, so and you're actually not allowed to anchor here. So I don't know. I don't know if that's because it's high season or almost New Year's. Let's go to Pays du Sucre. Check out the snorkeling. I'd love to make a beautiful collage of this reef with fancy music under it, but sometimes you just gotta be really honest. There was nothing above average about this reef. It's a bunch of rocks and the reef really looked in poor condition. That's the way it is. Good morning! Today I'm finally getting a mooring buoy after 3 days, and then I don't have to worry about dragging into the rocks anymore. The issue is there's more people anchored here. They came after me. It is definitely my turn now, but I'm so slow. I have to pull up everything by hand, and if something comes free and other people are waiting, you just push a button, pull out the anchor, and like 2 minutes later they're there, and I need like, well, a lot more time. So the neighbor of the neighbor is leaving, and 7:45 I'm putting up anchor. They're leaving at 8, and my other neighbor is also helping. He's going to dinghy over to hold the ball for me, and then I have more buoy, don't have to worry about this anymore. Gotta be fucking kidding me. This is crazy. While I picking up the anchor, some other dinghy from the other side raced over and went to the ball. I was gonna throw you this.
Yeah, that's my net.
Even with all our planning, almost missed it, but 2 boats ended up leaving this morning, so me and the parents of the other dinghy are moored now. The struggle is real. Normally I wouldn't do long distances in the dinghy, like 2 miles and over, I'd just take the big boat. But I think after this morning you understand why I prefer not to go out again by big boats and try to find another place. I'm ready to go to the other island, and this morning I'm having coffee at Keith's boat, and he's like, are you sure you want to go with your dinghy? My dinghy's name is Sinky, by the way, because it's always sinking a little. And the channel is like really rough at the moment because of the Christmas trades. And I was like, probably make it. And he's like, let's go in my dinghy. So, it's probably a good idea, so he's going to pick me up soon. Didn't know you were joining too. Hey, little monster. Hey. Our day is going to start with a beer at this really pretty restaurant. Cheers!
Cheers!
Heineken beer here was €2, which literally is half of the price of the big island. So I ordered 2 each. I guess, you know, it's the same price. Keith is telling me it was a bad idea to do this in my dinghy.
Yeah, not a good idea. It's barely a good idea. It's a borderline idea in my dinghy, which is a 200-pound fiberglass 10.5-foot Zodiac that's meant to take abuse with a 15 horsepower 2-stroke that's only 2 years old, as opposed to Hoop's 7-foot inflatable flat bottom that has no bottom to it at all. And anyway, so yeah, we still gotta make it home in this dinghy, which is a little bit dodgy.
I think I would have made it.
Maybe.
There's a little gas station over here, and now going to explore the little town. There's a lovely park over here. So this island never really developed because of a variety of reasons. One is that there's barely any anchor space, so most boats don't go here. That being said, tourists could still come here, but then the big beach here is facing in the direction of the wind, so it's very rough. It's not really a comfortable beach. And at the big island, it's facing away from the wind, so it's a lot calmer and a lot nicer to swim. What do you think about this place?
I liked it. I liked it the last time I was here. It was very nice. It's very it's not big, but it's got a cute little vibe to it. A couple little restaurants, a nice little marina dock.
I like it for a couple hours.
Yeah, exactly. Bosun, get over here.
The other place is definitely, you know, there's just a lot more to see and a lot more to do. But it's cute. As a sailor, when you go in rough conditions, you have to try to make wise decisions. So we're gonna take one more beer before we go.
That's a wise decision on these rough conditions.
We're two people. Like we're two people strong. Two phones.
One of us will make it.
One of us will make it. Going to shore, going to the top of that mountain, there's a fort. It's so windy, I don't have to start the engine to go to shore, I can just float there. There's definitely a walkway with a view. This fort was apparently used in the 1850s for prisoners who were on the way from Europe to Guyana, and apparently they made a stop here. Later it was used for sailors that had transferable diseases. Sometimes really hard for me to comprehend history. Like we're talking about 150 years ago, you know? That's like 2 generations ago. We're not talking about 1,000 years ago. Like we're so lucky. Like I know obviously it depends on which country you look at, but compared to a long time ago, we're so lucky that we live in, for the majority, such a world of freedom at the moment. It's really hard to see on camera, I think, with so many white caps falling over the waves. It is nasty out there. Today doing a hike around the south side of the island. Beautiful views. There's an old watchtower over here. Good morning. I want to talk to you guys today about the future, or what the future could be like. For the first years, or actually for the last 6 years of travel, there was always some kind of struggle, and the struggle made obstacles, and the obstacles always created an automatic thing to pursue, something to try to achieve. Let me try to explain. In the first year, I crewed on other people's boats, and while crewing on other people's boats, I tried to learn to sail. You know, at the same time I was trying to overcome obstacles. Then later, when I bought a van, first the obstacle was trying to convert the van into a camper van in a country where I did not speak the language, and then driving around in countries where I didn't speak the language with a car that kept breaking over and over and over, and then obviously find a way to fix it. And then later, when I bought this boat, it was trying to learn how to deal with a fiberglass boat with an engine in it, and how to fix it and keep it floating, like all things I didn't know and didn't learn while crewing. And then when I left, it was about learning how to solo sail and basically survive while doing it. That all were obstacles to overcome. And lately I'm not saying I'm a great sailor, but the real survival struggle is most of the time kind of over, and which is great. But sometimes I feel like I miss a little bit of like a goal in life. So right now I'm in the Caribbean, and I haven't seen a lot of the Caribbean yet, so I'm definitely gonna explore all the other islands in the East Caribbean. But once I leave the East Caribbean, it's either going the normal routes, going to the Panama Canal and then crossing the Pacific Ocean, or you can go to the United States, go to Canada, or you can cross to Europe. But crossing to the States and then to Canada means you're going into colder climates, which I have a lot of respect for all the people sailing and going to colder climates. I grew up in a cold country, at least in winter, and I'm very happy not to be in a cold country. So I don't think that's for me at this moment in my life, at least. Crossing the Pacific is the normal route to do. However, so I've had a few dates recently that I, for a variety of reasons, did not put on YouTube. Okay, let me skip back for a second. When I started crewing on other people's boats 6 years ago, I could not imagine living on a 30-foot boat, a basic boat. I always thought it had to be at least 40 foot, but then because of a variety of different ways of travel, I lived in a small van, I lived in a tent. Now for me this is perfect. The size is fine. It has come to my attention that out of the dates I had, 2 of them I really thought, okay, well, this could actually work from my side, but the amenities on the boat were a bit too basic, and I can relate to that because that was how I thought when I started out traveling. So I get it. That in combination with when you cross the Pacific, everything becomes long distances, so you spend a lot of time on your boat. Actually, it surprises me even here how many time you spend on the boat. Like everyone, I see it with everyone around me, but when you cross the Pacific, it's just going to be all the time longer distances, and then a bigger boat is faster and you spend more time on the boat, so you know, a little more amenities, a little more space to walk around could be nice. The other option, if I don't want to do that, will be to go to Europe, because that's one long crossing and then distances are short again. So I do see that as a potential option too. However, to increase my chances to get a little faster, to, you know, a little, okay, so the last 6 years I've always been doing the extreme budget, like basically not spending much or not spending anything and still being able to keep traveling that way, and always in vehicles that, you know, could have been seen as a bit of a liability occasionally. And I think I've gotten to the point that I want a bit more comfort. I'm tired of putting myself always in that kind of situations. So I'd like to work to a little more comfortable lifestyle in the next year or in the next years. And yeah, so that's the plan. And my YouTube channel is stagnating. It's like I'm still growing, but really slow. At the moment I make enough money to survive, which I'm super grateful for. I'm super grateful that I can still do this lifestyle after so long. But I am also looking at different options. Don't get me wrong, I'm not quitting YouTube. I'll keep making YouTube videos, but I am looking at side options to potentially, you know, make a bit more money, to have a bit more comfortable life. And one of the things I'm thinking about right now is to get my yacht masters. After last year I have enough experience to get my yacht masters, and on the one hand it's always good to learn for it because I'll never get a worse sailor from it, but when I have it I could do an occasional charter. And how I see that is, for an example, I do a week charter and I put the boat in the marina, and then I'll make a video about, I'll take you along, we'll fly to another country where I do a charter on a catamaran for 5 or 7 days, and then fly back to the boat. And it could just be a really cool adventure and make some nice money to do some cool stuff, like you know, pay for a diving tour, or slowly yeah, make a bit more money for a bigger boat. Because, you know, with YouTube you never know. I also don't know why it's stagnating. It might be because the market is quite saturated at the moment, but you never know. In a bit of time I might go up and I might go down. It's a hard thing to foresee. So in order to increase my chances to keep living a comfortable life, I am going to start studying for my Yacht Masters, do that on the side, and in the meanwhile keep making YouTube videos, and we'll go from there. Yeah, just wanted to discuss with you how I think and foresee how the future can look like. Okay, see you next time.